Oh, hi. And this is part one of a few parts, The Life and Times of Jay Mather. It's not going to be long. I'm just going to give a couple stories and start from the beginning. Hopefully you'll find it humorous, entertaining, educational, and it's all true, every bit of it. In my life, I was born in the beginning. It's hard to believe. Don't remember a lot of stuff. Not gonna do it. Not gonna remember just everything. Like, man, I was a little far back there. I remember just wanting out. I was in this womb and I wanted to get out. Losing it. Oh, baby, I remember I was all shook up. Oh, baby, I want out. I want to get on those blue suede shoes. I want to start rocking and rolling. Got a whole lot of shaking going on in there. It was terrible. But I was just in the room. So I got out of that room. And a lot of air. That was great. I had this little tube connected. I had to get rid of that. I was cesarean section, born 1953. Yeah, it's way back there. McMinnville, Oregon, at the General Hospital. It's no longer there. I think it had progressed to a Walgreens or something. Right across from Columbus Grade School. That's no longer there. It's gone. Yeah, crazy. We lived at Linfield College, and right where the science building was, we owned a big chunk of property there. Had a house that got burned up from the college students that we were renting out. Popcorn everywhere. I mean, I'm telling you, the stew overflowed and popcorn everywhere. Still, I was bigger and better. Still a lot of shaking going on, a lot of disturbances in my life. Anyway, so after that, we decided, we'd already moved to Portland. That's why the house burnt down, because we were renting it out. And then eventually, it seems like a month or two later, they had a party. The college kids from Linfield College had a party at our next in our barn, which was next to that big observation tower. It's still there now. That tower is still there, so that's kind of a reference point down at Linfield College. Check it out. If you can't find it, go to Alf's. It's awesome. There's some ice cream there and a monkey, and it's fun. Just check it out. But anyway, so did a lot of things in McMinnville. Okay, lived a pretty humble life. I remember us having some bulls and cows in the field. Had some chickens and rabbits and stuff. It wasn't a huge farm, but it was definitely a farm. Had relatives live in in Lafayette, and also all around McMinnville. Had a grandma that owned, by Newby Grade School, owned several houses, and it was quite a time. My relatives, Bob Collins and Mary Collins, at the time, I think they were like principals and educators and stuff. They did a lot of teaching and supervising and principal stuff in Dundee. So very interesting. So like I said, I had a lot of relatives around there. I just remember the simple times. But I do remember Dad one time. My dad didn't fear anything. He was Al Mather. He was an electrician and the vice president of electrical outfit and a motocrosser. A great dad. He ended up having a heart attack actually in '64. I'll get into that later. He was saved by nitro pills on an Indian reservation, believe it or not. But anyway, now I got myself distracted and I can't remember where I was. So down there in McMinnville, I was told to stay out of this fence area. It was an electric fence, and my dad put the fear of the Lord in me by putting his hand on the fence and saying, "Son, come here." But Dad, don't talk back to me. Not talking back, just saying, "Yes, sir." That's what it is. Yeah. Even though when you're gone, I'm going to do what I want. You're going to what? I'm going to do exactly what you want, Dad. When you're gone, I'm going to behave myself. Dad, you torque me off. I do what? I said, you're the man that helps me get the torques off the cars and stuff. You're a great man. You talk my way out of anything. I remember not being allowed to go underneath this fence. And I didn't want to. It electrocuted you. He would hold on to it and grab your hand, and, and Dad, my goodness, you're full of electricity. Well, it was the electric fence that he was able to handle. But he said, stay away from this fence. Do not go on that field. Well, one day, I went underneath the field, and the bull started chasing me and slid right into a bunch of cow pies. The best barbecue we ever had, though. Little chewy. And now I found out that you can burn them on Man versus Wild. You can take those and they make great little burn things. Still got that hay taste in my mouth. But anyway, my fellow Americans, I want to be serious. Jay was quite a man. Let me just tell you, he was an American hero. My fellow Americans, believe me, he had a life. I was in the White House, and the story continues. Jay, why don't you finish? Okay. Oh, I'd love to be a nut. Okay. I don't know where we're at. That's the problem. Lots of things. Anyway, I went and did that. Okay. One thing led to another. The house burned up, and a whole bunch of stuff. We lived on Linfield College, and we rented the house out when we moved to Portland. And remember, the house burned up first. A lot of popcorn all over the floor. I don't know. They must have ate a lot of popcorn. But I know stew boiled over and caused a big problem and caught the house on fire. Okay, that was fine. We got over it, sold that part of the property, made some money, and then the barn we had burned up by some kids from college. So it was time to move. We moved out of there and went to Portland. And what a bunch of stories, I do a lot of acting and a lot of entertaining, and I also, in my lifetime, I was a paramedic for Metro West and Care Ambulance, and also in the National Guard, Army National Guard. I was one of the only medics they had on my side, and have lots of stories to tell you. I'll continue this. Let's go to part 2 shortly. Have a good night.